Alright, we gotta talk about The Batman 2022. Holy crap, this movie was a beast of a film. I had a blast, and I was truly blown away. Let's dive in.
Alfonso, this is Optimus Prime. Transform and roll out.
What's going on, Alfonso Nation? Alfonso here. Welcome back to another one, guys. Holy crap, it is opening day for The Batman 2022. I saw it last night, and I was actually debating if I was going to watch it as soon as possible or if I could wait to watch it. But I'm glad that I watched it when I did. I didn't really have a lot of expectations. I wasn't like freaking out over the movie, but I knew that it was going to be a good film. But I had no idea that it was going to deliver in the way that it did. No spoilers in this video, so please be courteous in the chat with the spoilers. We're not going to talk the spoilers in this video. I'm going to try to stay away from any specific details of the plot, but it is a blast. This movie was awesome, and I know there's a lot of people that had a lot of high expectations for this movie, and even they said it delivered on their expectations. It met and even exceeded some of their expectations. But anyway, let's get into the review of what I thought about The Batman 2022. So going over the actual film synopsis, it reads here, when the Riddler, a sadistic serial killer, begins murdering key political figures in Gotham, Batman is forced to investigate the city's hidden corruption and question his family's involvement. That's perfect. That's a perfect one sentence summary of this entire film, and it truly did unpack every single bit of that. I didn't really have a lot of expectations, but man, did this movie literally yank me out of reality, brought me into Gotham City, and just completely kept me captivated the entire time. This film obviously directed by Matt Reeves. Now, this guy is a terrific director, and a lot of people who were not really certain about how this movie would portray itself was very confident when they heard that Matt Reeves was going to be directing it. Matt Reeves is a very talented director, and he's even one of the writers of this movie, and it truly shows. It really, really shows. And one of the biggest speculations people have had with this movie is obviously Robert Pattinson's debut as the Batman. People have had a lot of concerns and speculations like, hey, this is the Twilight guy. Don't know if he can be Batman. And I didn't know either. I was like, it's a little weird. It's a little... it doesn't feel like Batman. You know, his face didn't really feel... I just didn't really feel it at first until I went and watched it. I gave it a chance, and Robert Pattinson aced that role. He stepped into the shoes of Batman, and he completely delivered. Entirely delivered. Every single cast member delivered in their roles. It was not just Robert Pattinson. We've got Robert Pattinson as the Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle, we've got Jeffrey Wright as Lieutenant James Gordon, Paul Dano as the Riddler, and literally John Turturro is back on a big screen as Falcone. Y'all, one of the key takeaways from this movie, I gotta say, is the way that they introduced the Batman. His introduction as a character into this film. It was done with such like suspicion, and it was very dark, but it was also epic, and it just kept me on my feet. It literally gave me chills the way he was introduced. The specific phrasing in the script, the cinematography, the shots, and his ultimate reveal was jaw-dropping. I also loved how much screen time the Batman actually got. It wasn't, you know, a bunch of side scenes or side characters. We did get a lot of side character development, which is necessary to, you know, establish the roles and establish the plot and what everybody is going to contribute to the story. But the Batman got the focus. He got a lot of the screen time, and we got to see it basically from his perspective, his point of view. And I love the way that Robert Pattinson portrayed the character. It wasn't, you know, high energy. It was very calm, very still, very collected, very calculated. He was very focused from the beginning of the movie to the end. He was just truly invested in this overall investigation of the Riddler, and it really showed. I honestly loved watching him as he watches every detail, and he was just calculating. It was great. I also gotta say, I absolutely love Zoe Kravitz's portrayal of Selena Kyle in this movie. She really brought it in. I love how it touched on different elements of her character, certain different attributes of her personality, and not only her ability to fight or her skills to investigate, but her personality, her struggles, her experiences with her past, and how it brought her to where she is today. We got to see different elements of her character: the violent, aggressive fighter, and also the delicate striver, the aspiring Selena Kyle. It was really great. But oh my god, the Riddler gave me the most chills in this movie. Paul Dano stepped into the shoes of this maniac character and freaking did it. He did it. He plays a really good villain. Like, I was on the, from beginning to end, he really brought that villain, maniacal, extreme, psychotic energy as the main villain, and it showed. It, especially near the end, he brought it home. He brought that home. The Batman and the Riddler are the stars of this show. My god, it was awesome. I also just want to say it was a complete delight seeing John Turturro on the screen again. Me as a Transformers fan, I love John Turturro. He is an underrated actor. He always just delivers with absolute precision. He just takes upon these roles with like ease. Like, it's not even a big deal. And I love the different elements and how it evolved over the course of the film. I loved his involvement. It was really well done. Man, John Turturro, much love to you. Excellent. Chef's kiss. Now, I know, the movie was long. I mean, this was a lengthy film. This was literally 3 hours long, and I've seen a lot of people online complain about that, especially on Twitter, like, this was too long. They didn't have to make it this long. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest, just from my personal experience, I think it was necessary. I think not only was it necessary, but it was done in a way where you don't feel the length. It was truly necessary. Every scene was essential to the unraveling of the story. Nothing stood as a placeholder scene, or nothing felt like it was just thrown in there to make the movie long intentionally. Everything had relevance, and a lot of the elements of this film was developmental. A lot of the characters had to be established, who they were, how they contributed to the plot. All of that was essential, and the way that it was done in certain pieces. You had developmental character, then you had action scene. Developmental character, action scene. New plot element, and then action scene. So it was mixed in properly to keep you captivated. It didn't feel slow. It didn't feel like a drag because you had action scenes breaking up the slow moments. That's just the way that I see it. One thing I will say, I would have personally preferred a more explosive, more climactic ending. We did get some very good action, and I like the way that the plot unraveled at the end with the Riddler, with his ultimate plan. But I felt like on the Batman's perspective, it could have been more involved action. But I will say, I love how it ended. The ending was amazing. That's probably just my inner Marvel fanboy spoiled child talking, because I'm used to these big massive endings like Endgame and Infinity War and these big, it wasn't on that level, but the way that it ended was necessary. The way that it ended kept the pacing, it kept that energy, that dark, slow, unraveling energy. And the action was awesome. The fighting was awesome. I also gotta say it. Michael Giacchino's soundtrack for the Batman. That soundtrack was perfect. There's portions of the soundtrack that's very heroic, very valiant. It has that very majestic superhero type slow-paced soundtrack, but then the other half is very bold, very epic, very daring, very fearless, and it's perfect for the character of the Batman. And it was used in the perfect ways. It wasn't overused, but it was used in the right moments, and it really brought home that delivery of every action scene that it was presented in. It blended with the movie with absolute ease, and honestly, the movie would not have the same aesthetic without it. And I also gotta say, one of my favorite elements of this movie is the fact that it was presented with a pure, raw story, very talented character portrayals, a very thrilling and realistic action, but it was all of those things without the need of bringing nostalgia, or it was all those things without any character cameos that, excites the audience like we've gotten in a lot of Marvel films. That's what I like about this. It stood apart, it stood alone, and it honestly brought in that character comic book live action escapism without the need of those things. And that is a true testament to how robust the writing is, how captivating the story was, how excellently each character delivered. It was a true testament of how this film is. Honestly, I would even go as far as saying that this is a perfect standalone movie. Like, it can stand solo, and it could even be a good origin or developing film for the Batman and Catwoman if they were to ever make any sequels. But overall, guys, 10 out of 10. That's my rating. I don't normally give those ratings. I do try to give a fair rating, and I don't allow recency bias to just influence me. I try to really think about it critically, but honestly, the more you think about it, the more you love it. The more you understand how absolutely well thought out, well carried out it was. And it was truly one of the best movies I've seen in the past few years. Like, I don't mind going back and watching it for another set of 3 hours and another set of 3 hours. It was pure comic book movie, live action, flawlessness. It was excellent escapism. Now, was it the perfect movie? Absolutely not. It was not the perfect movie at all. Now, was it one of the best comic book movies ever released? Probably so, yeah, I would say that. Would it be one of the best Batman and DC films? Absolutely. And by the way, Robert Patterson, he is the Batman in my book. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my review. I tried to give a very concise, non-spoiler review without really giving any specific details away of what we got in the movie, but I really enjoyed it. What are your thoughts? Put it in the comment section below. Are you watching this film? Have you already seen this film? What are your thoughts of the trailer? Please, no spoilers in the chat. Please respect each other's cinema experience. It's very important. Do you plan to watch it more than once? Because I think I'm going to go back a couple of times, honestly. It was that good to me. But yeah, I'm not big on DC. I never was massive on DC. I'm not like freaking out over the DC films. But I do thoroughly enjoy a lot of the DC stuff, especially like Aquaman. I love Wonder Woman and I love the Justice League. But this was great. It was a great Batman movie and probably my favorite one. I would probably say it's my favorite Batman movie, honestly. It really did bring Batman to life. So, Robert Pattinson, chef's kiss, all of you guys, chef's kiss. And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I got more videos on the way. If you want more movie reviews, more movie feedback, movie coverage, I'm going to do a lot more movie coverage, kind of like what I did when I started the Alfonso Nation. It started to kind of like devolve into figure-based videos like toy hunts and reviews and unboxings, but that's not really my true passion. My true passion is the film and movie entertainment industry, superhero movies. That's what I really love. I can talk about it all day. So that's kind of what I want to go towards with this channel. I want to kind of go back to my roots with that, because this is just what I love the most. I don't have to have every figure. I don't have to collect everything, toy hunt for everything. I just want to talk about the entertainment of this era that we're in, of cinematic superhero escapism, and hope you guys understand, and hope you guys also share those passions so we can all come together and still enjoy the content of Alfonso Nation. So yeah, that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till all one.